Jones looking to throw right away. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. So much for coming out throwing as it leads to an early second down and long.
And Jones going to keep once more.
And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. Third and long coming up.
Apparently this defense has come to play. A sack and a run stuff on the line on the first 2 plays.
Now Jones. That's going to be caught. It's Jakobi Meyers. It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down.
Back deep is Tyreek Hill. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return, and it'll be Dolphin football.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10
at the 31-yard line.
They'll run here with Raheem Mostert.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Hurry!
2 now on 1st down. Man open, it's J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. The first drive here and the first time that we've called a big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers are getting involved as this game goes on.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
Tua looking to throw on 3rd and 2.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Tagovailoa going for it on 4th down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And the Patriots defense is going to take over on downs. The Pats at the line ready to go.
And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. Harris running straight ahead. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the one. Maybe the first big test of the season here on both sides. This is 3rd and goal.
And Harris is not going to get there. Great work defensively to stop him short.
No gain on the play, and what to do now on 4th and goal. Well, down here near the goal line, you don't think of a cornerback in run coverage, but he made the stop.
Yeah, most of the cornerbacks we know, they want to be those pass defenders and take away one half of the field. But the best ones in the game are the...
And he is in. Touchdown, New England. Damian Harris punching it in from a yard away.
And the Patriots' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points.
Folk connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board.
This one fielded at the 5.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35.
Here we go.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30.
Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Nice move.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. That's going to be caught. Arcega-Whiteside. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Black shot. On the ball.
Tua now on 1st down.
He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Patriots are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away? It could cost them a ball game.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
On 2nd down, it's Stevenson.
And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind us down to the end of this first quarter of play. Start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Patriots in control of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. Got a man, it's Tyquan Thornton. And he will have a Patriots 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. That time on the run-pass option when he decided to throw it. Not a quick little drop-off. He went downfield a bit.
Reminiscent of a triple-option quarterback in college because he faked it inside, and instead of immediately throwing it out to the perimeter, stepped back in the pocket to find a target downfield.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Bradley Chubb came in and got him.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris.
And only a couple there up to about the 23-yard line. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
New England on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. He's got him in. Complete. 30.
And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Parker's got it for a Patriots touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown grab.
And the Patriots go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points.
Extra point up and good by Folk. And that'll make the score 14-0. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble to bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27.
Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive, but at the same time.
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed, because let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
The Pats at the line, ready to go.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
And not much doing there. Maybe a yard up to the 23.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort from minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down. Throwing, Jones.
Slant route, and he finds Thornton. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Oh, they had a good chance to get off the field defensively there. If they could just wrap up, it's going to be a 4th down. But instead, they can't get him on the deck, and he allows them to pick up the first down.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football, because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard.
And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. And then you give up the touchdown on the last drive, now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much, because as you noted, things change. Now they've got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down this comeback.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
To throw again on second down.
Tua. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
Eluding the pressure, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Matthew Judon in there to take him down.
Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on fourth down.
And deep to return it is Marcus Jones.
And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. This will be taken at the 10.
And good work bringing that one back as he picks up about 16 on the return.
And the Patriots take over. The Pats at the line, ready to go.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go.
And right side, Henry's got it. So they decline it, and they choose to not give him that down back.
And I think that's the key to everything there. They didn't give up any yardage even on the completed pass. Don't give them an extra down in order to try and pick up a first.
And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. And this returnable for Hill.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5.
Here's Mostert.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. Calling a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds.
A big play if you think about it right now in this season opener. It's 3rd and goal.
Tua going to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Sanders' kick is good, and they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10.
So they're able to win that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
First down, and they go back to Harris. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Parker. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Jalen Phillips in there to get him once again. That's 2 sacks for him now here on opening day.
Work now for Jones and the Patriots here after the sack. It's 3rd and long.
This time they stay on the ground. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half.
This taken in at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the 3rd quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, you know, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game, and to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Play action. Now it's Tua. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
Nowhere to go that time. It's a 46-yard punt with a loss on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. Harris starts the drive on the ground. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Harris going to get it again on 2nd down.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on second down.
Now let's find out they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
And he will have a Patriots first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Pushes him over. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 51 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers. And they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage. Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Up the middle, here's Stevenson.
And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 40-yard line.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped him, bringing up 4th down.
They're going for it. This is Harris.
Yeah, maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line.
A defensive breakdown allows a pickup of 16 on 4th down.
So they get the conversion on 4th, and now from the 25, they operate with a 1st and 10.
And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line.
Christian Wilkins there defensively for the stop.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And the ball is knocked out. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. Sanders on for the extra point. And oh, he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
Now this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
Again, it's Harris on 2nd down.
Powers through it. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. It'll be a Patriot first down on a pickup of 16. Off the bootleg, Jones. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
And he's got some space here. And they will finally haul him down at the Dolphins' 16-yard line. 133 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in the season opener. So they had him bottled up, able to make a man miss, and then boom, off to the races.
And it's how he made him miss. A little bit of strength, too. Had to work through contact to get him off of him. And then once he did that, now he put his agility to use and took off.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
We know he has a lot of confidence in his arm and likes to force it downfield, but the coverage was tight there. Fortunate it wasn't picked off.
On second down, this is Harris. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get him into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there, 4th and 3.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Absolutely no disguise on that one. They just went for it. Put him out there and said, go deep. Let's try and hit him. Unfortunately, to no avail.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. And some room to maneuver. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
They'll stay on the ground with Mostert.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches.
10 cycles.
They run with Mostert off the option.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Goodwin. And the question now, can they get closer on 3rd down? A field goal from here, you're looking at right about a 52-yarder. That's caught, and again it's Goodwin. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots' 20-yard line. And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs. Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Past the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. On for the extra point is Folk. And with that, the lead is up to 8.
Makes the score Patriots 24, Dolphins 16.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
Noah Igbenogany from his end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And can they regroup? That's the question. The pick 6 hurt, no doubt, but this is still a one-score game here in the 4th.
And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that'll make it 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game. Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. To throw again on 2nd down.
Tua getting this out to the flat. Mostert.
And some room to work. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 25 yards there on the catch and run. So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
A run with Mostert up the middle.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down.
3rd and 1, and Tua wants to throw it.
This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Tua.
Right back to Jalen Waddle for another catch.
And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. They go right back to him for 20 and a first.
Ultra. Mass. Trail green. Ready?
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
On that snap, he's the hero of his defense after the play he just made. A one-possession game, and his hit kept it exactly that.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Tua. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. J.J. Arthega right side from 13 yards out. And the Dolphins have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th.
The two are going to try and throw for it.
And he's got it. The conversion good, and we are tied in the 4th. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted to tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done. Get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Got his man. It's Thornton.
And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. They'll toss to Harris. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
That play over before it got anywhere thanks to Christian Wilkins.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss.
Here's Jones.
And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. Well, we say it often, Charles, but not all interceptions are created equally, and that is a big one here in a tie ball game in the 4th quarter.
And, Brandon, when games are this close, it usually comes down to the team making the fewest mistakes, and that was one of our mantras back at Tennessee. Coach Mears used to say all the time, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. You've got to cut those down to give yourself an opportunity.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Ready up. Hey, computer. Black Ultra.
They hand it off to Mostert.
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here.
Claws red.
Tua to throw. Got a man. It's Waddle, complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Here we go, back. Faster.
From the gun, a run with Mostert.
And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage.
Big Christian Barmore was there on the tackle.
All right, my man, this is now where it's risk-reward. Because on defense, you've got to crowd the line of scrimmage. You've got to get in all the gaps, get up tight on everyone, and try and force the field goal attempt here. You can't let them break one big, but you know something, when you crowd the line of scrimmage, if they do pop one, it's going to go a long way.
I was going to say, could take it to the house, but the magnitude of this possible upcoming field goal, every yard counts. Now, what's the thinking here? Because a touchdown would be nice, but you've ensured yourself a chance at 3 in the lead, so how worried are you about the 6?
You're not very worried about if you're confident in your kicker. And if you got a kicker who put it through the post, you feel really good about trying to bleed that clock down. In an ideal scenario, your kicker puts it through the post as the clock hits zeros.
3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. And they're going to get the timeout called. What a finish. We're down to 4 seconds to go in this football game. So it all rests now on the right foot of Jason Sanders. He made his only attempt earlier. This for the win. And his kick is good. And the Dolphins have taken the lead here in the 4th.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand-new season, but this was a division game here in Week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening the season, and you open within the division. You knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for the Dolphins, it wasn't always pretty, but they do eke out the Week 1 victory here by a field goal. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for New England, they go down to defeat here in the opener.
And they'll be on the road next week as they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
my name, you come with your goons, I'm bringing my game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. You hear the crowd, they screaming my name. I got the stadium going insane. Done with the talking, it ain't no discussion. You started, I finished, put me in the game. Put me in the game. Yeah. Put me in the game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. Hey, coach. Put me in the game. They put me in, so I'm going in. You play for fun, I'm playing to win. Back on the wall, I'm ready for war. If I beat them before, I could beat them again. They thought I was done, I went on a run and beat all the odds and got even again. Watch what you say, I'm not one of them. When I jump in my bag, I could jump out the gym. Take a look at my legacy, I gotta let them see I'm out here winning, cause I'm on a mission. Put me in the game, cause the way I'm feeling, I honestly do not see no competition. I gotta get it, so it ain't no quitting. We jumped off the benches and jumped in the trenches. No one is better than all of us, and that's why all of us been winning from the beginning. It's more than a game, don't play with my name. You come with your goons, I'm bringing my game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. You hear the crowd, they screaming my name. I got the stadium going insane. Done with the talking, it ain't no discussion. You started, I finished, put me in the game. Put me in the game. Yeah. Put me in the game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. Hey, coach. Put me in the game. Talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. You hear the crowd, they screaming my name. I got the stadium going insane. Done with the talking, it ain't no discussion. You started, I finished, put me in the game. Put me in the game. Yeah. Put me in the game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. Hey, coach, put me in the game.
You gotta choose.
Take the Lincoln Tunnel through Weehawken, through Secaucus, across the Hackensack River, and you'll arrive, as we have, at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. Braxton Berrios selecting to bring it out. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
Let's go now, let's go now, let's go now.
And they'll run the option to start the drive. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage. And Wilson going to keep it again. He'll get 8 on the keeper there. It'll be second and a couple. The Jets at 3-1 here through their first 4 games. And they come in off a disappointment last time out. That put an end to their modest 3-game win streak.
And last week, they took one on the chin. But to me, this is a pretty resilient bunch. So I don't think they'll dwell too much on that loss. And they'll be looking to come out in this one and make amends right now.
They'll go option on second down, right side. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4. Well, that play never really got off the launching pad. He had a linebacker in his face before he had a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, I think it's big boys up front, that offensive line. They've got to do a little bit better job of protecting him if they're going to continue to run the option like this.
And he is going to have a Jets first down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6.
Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on first down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Ball again on 2nd down.
And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48.
2 straight 4-yard runs, and it is steadily working the ball downfield. To me, they're staying right on schedule. First down, you want 4 yards or more to set up the rest of the drive. They're getting exactly that.
They'll run with Hall. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. It's a pickup of 6.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 46. Now it's Wilson. Open man here is Conklin. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Brandon Jones picking it off. And the Jets are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10
at their 35-yard line. Going to the air, Tagovailoa.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Now Tua. That's caught by his big tight, and I think the ball's out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Looking to pass. Tua.
And the pressure gets there, and Tua's going to be taken down. So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. He sets to fire deep. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
I'm going to see this offense try and spread the field a little bit and utilize the outside 3rd of the field, especially against man coverage. But that time, the defense was up to the task, forcing the incompletion.
And here comes Berrios. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return.
And the Jets will take over 1st and 10.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. To throw is Wilson. It's caught by Davis. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A big one there on 3rd down. They hit for 30 yards.
I think the offensive line was caught off guard a little bit because normally on an RPO, that ball's gone quickly. But in this case, he held it, and they held up well in their protection. He found his man downfield, something that's not typical, but it sure worked out well.
Now Wilson on 1st down. He finds his man, complete. It's Wilson.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
This offense so far on 3rd down, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 5. Again, Wilson.
He's got the connection to Moore.
And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 15-yard line. That one good for 24 yards.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Hall.
And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles, rolling the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
In search of 8 yards on 3rd down. They've already converted 2 of these on this drive, 2 for 2. Now Wilson. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Tyler Conklin, his 4th touchdown on the year.
And the Jets post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Jets lead at 7-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
Benogany elects not to return it. The football will come out to the 25-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a 1st down. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
From the 31,
Tua, throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle.
and he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game.
On the double.
Tua now on first down. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 23 yards, the final tally.
One of the showstoppers in the league. A nice catch there by Tyreek Hill. How about this for a statistic? 6 seasons, 6 Pro Bowls, and this guy continues to be one of the game-breaking players in the NFL. Now using his speed down south of Miami after his first 6 years in Kansas City.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Throwing again on second down. Tua. And this is going to be intercepted.
And the Jets are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3. I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
And with a 7-point lead, they'll likely look to take this to the locker room and not really press the issue. Meanwhile, Wilson's throw going to be caught by Davis.
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. A big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. Wilson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Here's Wilson to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Wilson. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. From the gun, it's Wilson.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48.
On the ready.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Tua's throw is taken in by Waddle. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. And he's got his tight end. It's Mike Gesicki. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. From the gun, it's Tua. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, they were so close. That close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer. But he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
A final shot before half. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So we've reached halftime with just the lone touchdown here. 7-0 is our score. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter.
And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
Well, Charles, we saw a pretty entertaining first half, close ball game. Remember there toward the end of the second quarter, the opposition scored to take the lead. Now we'll see if these guys can get a score of their own to regain that lead.
Yeah, they want to have that type of a response, don't they? Because they want to find a way to take control of this ball game one more time. Gauntlet's been thrown down. They want to see if they're ready to answer it.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Tua.
And the pressure gets there, and Tua's going to be taken down. John Franklin Myers, the one in there to drop him.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Here's Tagovailoa to throw.
Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted.
Picked up by Jordan Whitehead.
And the Jets are going to take possession of the football.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging because after all their halftime talk, adjustments and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
After the interception, here's Wilson.
A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they certainly knew their challenge as this series began, and they got to stop on play number 1. Goal now, get 2 more stops and limit the damage to a field goal.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing is Wilson. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Here's Wilson.
That's to Davis. He's got it. Touchdown, New York.
Corey Davis, his first touchdown on the year.
And the Jets go up by 2 touchdowns.
Zuerlein good with a PAT. And it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
Igbinoghene elects not to return it. The football will come out to the 25-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Jets will take over possession here up at the 44.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
They'll start in excellent field position following the INT.
Escaping the pressure right. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
Hold on a second. Was that the fullback? That was the fullback. Who says it? The slot receivers are the only guys who can catch the football and get big yardage after the catch. Really nice job there. Showing good hands and an ability to get upfield.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Rowe.
And the Dolphins are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. So that, Charles, maybe the play that this defense has been looking for.
They've hung in there, and if they lose this game, it won't be from a lack of effort on their part. The key question is, can the offense finally do something? Because we're into the 3rd quarter, and a 0 is still glowing on the scoreboard.
And they're going to get this up to midfield.
From midfield, here's Tua. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Jets are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. Ball again on 2nd down.
And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire...
And intercepted. Wilson's 3rd of the game.
Nick Needham picks it off. The 20. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
Well, here in this 3rd quarter, the whole complexion of the ball game flips on a dime there, CD. This is back to a 1-score game.
And sometimes when your offense is sputtering, you as a defensive unit have to take it upon yourselves to say, we've got to go out there, maybe take a few chances along the way, and see if we can generate some points ourselves. And lo and behold, they were able to deliver.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make our score 14-7. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Big Dwayne Brown, the tackle, guilty there. On second down, here's Wilson. Throw left side complete. That's Wilson. 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, New York.
Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. But I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that, so he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. We have played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for this.
And my goodness, another interception.
And the Jets are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Ball again on second down.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down. On the counter, it's Hall. And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it. And the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
A loss of 1, now a loss of 2, and they're staring at a 3rd and 13.
Now that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, Everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge fourth quarter stop? Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Eric Rowe.
And the Dolphins are right back in this football game.
Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
2 and now on 1st down. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone.
And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
And again, it's Tagovailoa. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And he's going to go down again. Carl Lawson, 2 plays in a row now that he has gotten in there for the sack, and it brings up 4th down.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Tua.
And that's caught inside the 35.
And he will have a Dolphins 1st down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
Down. Strike 2.
Here's Tua.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Sauce Gardner picks it off, and the Jets are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Oh, Wilson going to throw. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack.
Now Wilson throwing on 3rd and long.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at the 29.
Blaster. Ready.
Now Tua. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets are going to get the football here at their own 23.
All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. We made one more play. Could have had our shutout.
Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. Wilson wants to throw it. Now he's going to throw deep back over the middle. And now here is another interception. Picked off Byron Jones.
And the Dolphins will take over possession here up at the 44.
Well, in all likelihood, this ball game's still over. I mean, even with the interception, 2-score game, they need a miracle.
Curious decision to even throw the ball in that situation, but maybe they saw a stacked line of scrimmage and said, hey, it's better to try and throw than to try and run against it. In any event, I think you're exactly right. Now, the other team can pad their stats, but I don't think they're going to win.
Yeah, but still, don't change the channel just yet. The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, they've certainly had trouble unlocking this defense through 3.5 quarters, so I don't expect it to get any easier now. You know they're going to be sitting back and waiting on everything, and they force an incompletion there.
Here we go.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Tua to throw.
He's going to let it fly. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here and maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. The Jets, with victory seemingly in hand, they take a knee.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
Straight ahead is Hall.
And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one's going to come to an end. So it's a victory here for the New York Jets, and it's going to be their defense that gets the ink in the headlines tomorrow, and for good reason. They forced 5 turnovers in this game.
And while we were watching this game unfold, I kept thinking about when we did our training camp tour.
Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown.